What is up, Survivor fans? I'm Zach Pfeiffer, and this is your recap of the finale of Survivor 45, Living the Survivor Dream. Oh, and I was dreaming hard last night that we were gonna get a good winner, and ladies and gents, I think we did. Dee is the winner of season 45, and I think she is one of the most dominant and most qualified winners of the new era, if not for quite some time. Proud of her. She did really good. Shocked. She sat next to Austin. Shocked it was so close. Shocked Julia's outfit. There were so many times I did not go the way I thought it was gonna go. But you know, it's Survivor. Anything can happen. Let's talk about this amazing episode. So we're down to our final five. We have Austin, we have Dee, we have Jake, we have Julie, we have Katurah. And they're on a new beach, and they get back from just voting off dear old Drew. And Dee is dreading a conversation. She has to sit down with Austin and say, I'm sorry I lied to your face. And so she sits him down and is like, so I'm sorry. And he's like, it's totally fine. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, it's fine. Just like that. So I was feeling pretty good about Dee from this moment on. I was thinking as long as Dee is sitting in that final three, I think she's going to win the season. Austin, I think, losing his head a little bit in the game at this point in the last couple of episodes is probably why he did not win out at the end, but still, 3 votes. Ooh. So they wake up in the morning and they're like, it's so pretty with the final 5. And what's that? Is that a box? I think it's a box. And as the new era has it, they are going to compete for an advantage in this final 5 immunity challenge. So they have to, and it's different. You used to be, what did they have to do before? Oh, the words, and it they had to scramble, and then they have to go find where the clues said. So they changed it up, and it's a nice little change. It's going to be 3 different areas really far away that to run to and count, and that will be a code to unlock the advantage. And it's pretty brutal, because I think at this point you are exhausted. As we're seeing with Jake and Drew and Austin to a point, people are breaking down. They're getting a little cloudy with their decision making, and that's got to be the same with their physicality. So they are trucking along, and Dee and Austin are just fully working together at this point. And Jakey boy is like, I'm a super fan, and instead of just counting the numbers and remembering the numbers, I'm gonna remember the numbers by remembering the winner of the season of that number. So he was like, season 18, that's JT, and season 20, what was it, 22 was Denise? I don't remember the number. And then 43 is Gabler, and got shout out to all of them. I thought that was super silly, and I'm sure the editors were we're keeping that in for sure. I think particularly what's funny is they're Jake, what was the number? And he was like, JT, Denise, Gabler. Oh, I mean 18, 22, and 43. He's so silly, Jakey boy. So Jake finally does something productive for his game. He wins an advantage in this next challenge. And this challenge is going to decide who is going to survive the last vote off in the game. And we get to the challenge, and it's one of those really long challenges that lead to a puzzle where it's you have to climb and then dive and then dig and then cut and then chop and then pick up and carry, then throw, then climb again, unlock, and then puzzle. So there are a lot of steps here, so I'm not gonna totally rag on Jake, but you losing his goddamn mind. He forgets the keys, climbs up the thing, he's like, oh my god, I have to go back and get the keys. He's like, god damn it, god, no. And comes back, he's trying to solve the puzzle, he's missing one piece the entire freaking time, and I'm just like, buddy, I know it could happen to anyone, but it's just comical. It always is Jake. It's been Jake the entire season, just coming up with these big, grand moves and just falling on his face. Ultimately, Austin wins, and that was a shock to me because I thought Austin was me the first boot in this finale, so I was already scrambling to figure out who was going to go next. And there's a lot of talk. Jake has his idol. He wants to play it. He's like, oh yeah, they want a reward. They go to the sanctuary where good things happen, and Jake's like, hey, Austin, I'm going to be in the final 4, and guess what? I got an idol. It's right here. And Austin's like, wait, really? And he's like, yeah, I got an idol. And he's like, just don't tell Dee. And it cuts to him being like, he has an idol. So now they all know he has an idol. And so they're going to this vote, okay? Austin's safe, so there's only 4 people that can go home. We have D, Jake, Julie, and Katura. Okay, so Austin and D should be voting together. I think that would make sense. But here they split the vote, or 2 of them, when there's these 3 people that could very easily, I don't think there's much logic here. So D, I think, doesn't want to vote for Julie. So is going to vote Jake or Katura. She votes Jake. And then, no. Austin voted Julie. Katura voted Julie. Julie voted Jake. Jake voted D. D voted Katura? Is that what happened? Regardless, everyone copped a vote, which was so wild for a Final 5 vote. So that the one deciding factor was Katura and Jake could have got D out here if Katura stuck with the plan. Instead, she panicked because she can't trust Jake and like hasn't been able to trust Jake because he's all over the place in the entire game and votes for Julie. And the funny thing about this is Jake did not tell Katura that he was going to play this idol for Katura because he wanted to make this big move. And Katura was like, if you had told me you were going to play an idol for me, I would not have voted for Julie to secure my spot in this game in case there were 2 votes of me. He knew that another vote was going to go to Julie. 2-2 would have forced a tie, would have been at least a fail-safe for Katura. So I see what she was doing there. But ultimately, 2 votes send Julie home, and she's on the jury, and everyone's like, oh, okay, Final 4, here we're here. Whew. So we get to Final 4. This challenge is not some motion. It's like stepping high, stack cup. And they have to do that in, I think, like 16, 17 cups a high. And it's one of those really frustrating challenges because you have to be quick, but you have to be focused. It's like a great Final 4 challenge, I think. And D just swipes the floor with everyone. Jake, we should comment on the fact that was doing really well, makes them all fall, cannot get them back, throws a tantrum. Jeff's like, you break that, you buy it. He breaks it, he must now buy it. He's out of the challenge. And he's just like, yeah, I'm Jake. Ma. Mentioning back in the last challenge, his advantage was he got those like extra little like numbers already up and he still just like fumbled. It's just like, Jakey boy, we love you, but you're just not really making it effective with this. All right, so there's 4 of them left. They do this challenge, and it's relatively close. It seems like it's going to be between Jake and D for a while. Jake falls. Then it looks like it's going to be between D and Katura. Katura falls. So it's really just D against herself at this point, and she really just nails it out and wins the Final 4 immunity challenge, which is a great spot to be in for D because she's in the final 3, and as I was thinking, I was like, wow, she's gonna win this. So now she has to decide who does she want to go to Final Fire, and her biggest threat, she decides, is Katura. So she knows she's sending Katura in, and she's like, who can beat Katura? And they like give us this little narrative about Jake like really choking again, and we're like kind of led to believe that he probably will choke. But what we don't really get a big sense of is how poor of a fire maker Katura is, and it's such a bummer because I'm sure she could have done it, given a little bit more time, but Jake was just a little bit better, and Jake wins Final Fire, securing his place in the Final 3. And we have our jury, and it's consisted of 4 Bellows, 2 Reba, and 2 Lulus. All right, so we do like a little homage to like Fallen Comrades where they all talk about the players that played, and then also the juries get like new in the era, get these like talking head confessionals talking about who they think should win and what they're looking for, which I really like that perspective from them in the game. And we go to Tribal Council, and I think it's really good. I think what surprised me the most was how little Jake did. He's a performer. I thought he was gonna like put on a little bit of a show, but he was just like, I'm grateful to be here. And then Austin was doing really well, but then D just like really undercut him by like coming in the 11th hour being like, I'll let you finish. Finishes. And he's like, great. So that's not exactly what happened. I did tell Julie, I lied to you about that. And that's why you lost your number 1, because he was a threat to my game. And Austin really just like saying something what he believed was to be the truth. And then D being like, actually, I have the bigger picture here. I think really sold it. I think D came into this with the jury votes in her favor. I was just kind of shocked how many did end up voting for Austin. It's 5-3 at the end. So she won by 2 votes, but if it was 1 less, it would have been 4-4, and then Jake would have cast the final vote, and Jake could have voted for either of them, really. I mean, it could have been like just flip of a coin. So Congratulations, Dean. Very exciting. I think, like I said at the beginning of this video, one of the most dominant players. I think she's like a really good combination of Parvati and Tony. I think we have a really cool winner in D, and I would love to see her play again. I think that if we do have a Legend season in season 50, which would be really, really cool, that D would be a great new era addition to that roster, especially if we do like new era, old era Legends. I'm thinking for CBS. But yeah, we capped it off great. Like the after show was like meh. But I don't think it dampens how great season 45 was. We had such amazing characters from our 2 quits in one season. We had Brandon, just in general, Sabaya. Like our first 4 boots were icons. And you know, I think we did drag a little bit, I think, around like the Kelly's vote was great. Kendra and Bruce's episodes were a little bit lackluster, but they all had exclamation marks that we can look back to and really enjoy. Like Caleb surviving the J Maya boot and hitting his shot in the dark, is Survivor Legends now. The Blind Side of Kelly was really devastating, but like really rewarding. The Kendra episode was meh. But Bruce not playing his idol, Emily making that move, and then the blind side of Emily with the knowledge leaking to Julie to play Austin's idol. Like we had great episode after great episode after great episode after great episode with great characters. I think that was also really cool is we didn't have a huge reliance on advantages and idols in this game. And yet when we did use them, they were used quite effectively, or because of the flop value of them, added great impact into the season itself. A la Austin and Jake, who both misplayed idols pretty spectacularly, leaving D to be champion and sole survivor of Survivor 45. Whew. It's been so much fun. I'm so excited for season 46. It's right around the corner. We'll be doing this again, and I will be talking about it with a whole new group of people. I saw that little teaser. Did not give me much to go on, so I'm gonna have to do some diving and see what is to come, because so long, Pelicans. Hello to 3 people walking through water with a torch. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love Survivor so much, and I hope you all love it a little bit more after watching these videos. I'll see you next season.